between England and Australia. We've had a lot of rain over here over the last few days. The ground is fairly wet, but play is due to start on time. You had a look at the pitch a little earlier, Jim. What do you reckon?
Thanks very much, Richie. With the recent poor weather, the pitch is looking down. It will be slow and low and frustrating to bat on, especially with the sluggish outfield. So the batsmen will need to get their head...
He's going to face the first ball of the match. 250 runs required. Stopped by Gillespie. It's a lovely way to get off the mark. Knight is off the mark. Super wicket keeping. England have taken their total on to no wicket for 4. Hit straight at Lehman. Lee to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. I think he was easily back in the crease there. Oh, that's close. The umpire's not moving on that one. The umpire didn't have to think too hard about that one.
Well, Richie, that looked as if it was drifting down the leg side to me. Good decision by the umpire.
Trescothick is now facing. So they need 246 to win from 291 balls. That's straight up in the air. Well, that nearly joined us up here in the commentary box.
Well, you can't set fields for shots like that. That's brilliant.
So they need 240 to win from 290 balls.
England can't have hoped for a better start. The target's looking very reachable at this rate.
McGrath to begin a new over. The required run rate is around 4.5 and over. That must be close. The umpire says not out. There was never a chance the umpire would give that out. Over the top and away for 4. Trescothick moves into double figures with those runs. Trescothick is now on strike. That's gone high in the air. That was beautifully turned off his legs before.
He played that with a lovely straight bat. He'll be pleased.
Seven overs are left in the innings.
The openers have made a flying start. The target should be no problem if they keep this up.
Lee to begin a new over. Now the run rate stands at just over 4.5 and over. Lee at the start of his run-up. That's racing away for 4. That's the first boundary for Knight. Lee to bowl to Knight. There it goes. And he's got away with it. The batsmen are coming back for 2. Lee at the start of his run-up. Confident appeal. The umpire's not moving on that one. There was never a chance the umpire would give that out. McGrath to begin a new over. The run rate stands at just under 4.5 and over. There it goes, but it'll drop safely. The total is now no wicket for 25. McGrath continues. That's cleared the boundary. 6 runs. They'll be looking for that ball for days.
Well, you can't set fields for shots like that. That's brilliant.
2 runs required. That's gone high in the air. Trescothick has moved into the 20s and is starting to look far more relaxed. That's the end of the 5th over.
The batsmen are off to a flying start. If they keep this up, then the target will be no problem at all.
Lee to begin a new over. The required run rate is around 4.5 and over. .218 runs required. That must be close. Amazing catch. Trescothick goes for 22.
A slight fumble, but safely taken in the end.
Hussain facing his first ball. Oh, that's close. And the umpire's given it. So then, that's the end of Hussain. Lee on a hat-trick. .44 overs are left in the innings. McGrath to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 4.5 and over. Great shot by Knight. Knight moves into double figures with those runs. That has to be close. The umpire says not out. There was never a chance the umpire would give that out. Knight is now facing. That was an athletic stop by the keeper. 2 for 37. McGrath is back in the attack. That's straight up in the air. He smashed that a long way.
Great strike. It looked like 6 the moment he struck it.
The total is now 2 for 43. It's straight at Warne. That's cleared the rope. 6 runs. That was sheer power.
What an effortless shot. Brilliant.
43 overs are left for England. We're about to see the first bowling change. The required run rate is around 4.5 and over. Oh, big shout for that one. He's out. Thorpe makes his way back to the dressing room. The score is now 3 for 49. That's the first runs of the day for Stewart. Fielded in the deep by Ponting. The 50 is up for England. Stopped by Harvey. A very good over. Only 2 offered in the end. McGrath to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 4.5 and over. Three now for 51. He's smacked that over the top and been rewarded with 4. McGrath only overpitched very slightly, but it was punished.
He really needs to concentrate on line and length right now to keep the runs down.
Knight has gone for 29.
Straight down the fielder's throat. The batsman will be kicking himself.
The total is now 4 for 55. Warren to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 4.5 and over. There it goes. That's the first boundary for Stewart. 4. Now for 59. That is an excellent catch.
For those of you watching at home, that's a good example of how to take a catch.
Stewart goes for only 6. .191 runs required. That's the end of the 10th over. McGrath to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. That's straight up in the air. That's the first boundary for Clinton. There it goes. That was 6 all the way.
The bowler doesn't look too happy about it. There might be a little bit more in the next one.
Brilliantly caught. So then, that's the end of Clinton. Safely taken. He rarely drops a thing in the slips. That over cost 10 runs. The new batsmen weren't faced for the time being. Now the run rate stands at just over 4.5 and over. They have 39 overs to get 181. It's high in the air. That's the first boundary for White. 177 runs required. 6 now for 73. A long hop and punish. He's timing the ball perfectly today.
Well, he got everything right there. Footwork, hands, kept his head down, kept the ball on the ground. Nothing better than that.
Warren at the start of his run-up. There it goes. That takes him into double figures. That over eased the pressure on the batting team. McGrath to begin a new over. The run rate stands at just under 4 and over. The score is now 6 for 81. McGrath continues.
Waiting.
Picked up on the boundary by Warren. For all the way. That's the first boundary for Giles. He's gone over the top with that, and it looks like 4 runs. He placed that superbly.
Fantastic shot there. He knew it was 4 as soon as he struck it.
Superb shot. That takes him into double figures. That over eased the pressure on the batting team. Warren to begin a new over. Now the run rate stands at just over 4 and over. There it goes. Looks in good form out there.
Lovely front foot shot. Head over the ball, wrists in front of the bat as he played through the line.
6 now for 97. That's gone high in the air. It's in the air. They were diving for cover with that one.
That was a super shot. I really didn't think it was too bad a ball.
That moves the score into 3 figures for England. Pitch straight to a fielder. He's taken the aerial route there. 4 runs. Giles has now moved into the 20s. .16 runs came from that over. There's a change in the bowling for Australia. The required run rate is around 3.5 and over. That's a superb shot. Picked up very early by Giles.
He picked his spot well there, a glorious ball.
A long hop and punish. to pick the length quickly with that one.
His line was all wrong. Too wide, and the batsman took full advantage.
That's straight up in the air. Partnership for the 7th wicket is now 52. That's gone high in the air. That was sweetly timed.
What can I say about that, chap? He looks in top form today.
125 runs required. Harvey to Giles. He's gone over the top of that, and it looks like 4 runs. There's a nice bit of timing.
For all the kids watching out there, that is a perfect example of how to play the shot.
That's the end of the 15th over. Warren to begin a new over. Now the run rate stands at just over 3 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. They have 35 overs to get 120. England move on to 130. Warren at the start of his run-up. The batsman will have to run these. The batsmen are coming back for a second. White facing. That's gone high in the air. White has moved into the 20s and is starting to look far more relaxed. 115 runs required. Warren continues. Now the run rate stands at just over 3 and over. That's straight up in the air. Well, that nearly joined us up here in the commentary box.
The fielder just watched it. Going, going, going.
Harvey at the start of his run-up. The total is now 6 for 142. The fielder will cut that off. Giles raises his bat to the crowd to acknowledge the applause. Giles has reached his 50 from 24 balls.
Well played. Now he needs to get his head down and move to the next milestone.
White waiting at the striker's end. That over cost 8 runs. Warren to begin a new over. The required run rate is around 3 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. It's high in the air. He found the gap with precision.
The straight drive's not the easiest shot to play, but that was perfect. Full face of the bat and good footwork.
Hit straight to a fielder. I think he was easily back in the crease there. Warren to bowl to White. It's in the air. Amazing fielding. Giles waiting at the striker's end. "32 overs are left in the innings. The required run rate is around 3 and over. 4. Picked up very early by White.
Oh, great shot. That was a pleasure to see.
I think he was easily back in the crease there. Giles is now on strike. Harvey at the start of his run-up. Oh, that's gone a long way. And they were diving to cover it and stand there.
The bowler won't like that one little bit.
Played into the gap. Gillespie out at long on. That over eased the pressure on the batting team. Warren to bowl his leg spin. The run rate stands at just under 2.5 and over. The fielder will cut that off. Played into the gap. That's too short. 4 runs, picked up very early by White.
A slow, long hop. Thank you very much. 4 runs.
It's in the air. Partnership for the 7th wicket is now 103. Warren is beginning to lose his line and length. Warren continues. That's the end of the 20th over. Giles is now facing. The run rate stands at just under 2.5 and over. The fielder will cut that off. White waiting at the striker's end. Harvey to bowl to Giles. It's in the air. That really was excellent timing.
He really laid into that delivery. 4 runs all the way.
Harvey continues. There should be some runs here. played off the back foot. Crowd are giving him a great round of applause as they appreciate the importance of this knock. That's 54, 29 overs are left in the innings. The required run rate looks fairly comfortable, 2 and over. Well played, but the fielder will cut that one off. It's a mix-up with the batsman. He looked as if he was home to me. That has to be close. He's out. Giles eventually goes for 60. That was a fine innings from Giles. Warren to Caddick. Those are the first runs for Caddick. Great job done by the fielder in the deep. Caddick facing. That's straight up in the air. Harvey to begin a new over. The required run rate looks a fairly comfortable 2 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. Stopped by Bevan. Well, that'll certainly beat the fielder into the fence. That's the first boundary for Caddick. That's a big appeal. The umpire turned that one down, but it did look very close. Well, the fielders were very confident about that one, but to no avail. Over the top and away for 4. That takes him into double figures. Well held.
Great catch. That sort of thing can turn the course of a match.
Caddick is making his way back to the pavilion. 8 runs came from that over by Harvey. Warren to bowl his leg spin. The required run rate looks a fairly comfortable 2 and over. Too short. 4 runs. The crowd really enjoyed that shot.
He played that shot perfectly.
We've beaten all ends up by that one. There should be some runs here. Harvey to begin a new over. The required run rate looks a fairly comfortable 2 and over. They have 26 overs to get, 53. Stopped by Hayden. Harvey at the start of his run-up. The batsman will have to run these. The batsmen are coming back for a second. The total is now 8 for 200. Harvey to bowl to White. Stopped by Hayden. He looked as if he was home to me. The score is now 8 for 201. That's the halfway mark, 25 overs. We're about to see a change in the bowling. The required run rate looks a fairly comfortable 1.5 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they got some runs anyway. That looked like 4 all the way. I think he was easily back in the crease there. Ooh, that looked quite nasty. Those are the first runs for golf. White is now facing. It's in the air. It's in the air. That's the first boundary for golf. Harvey to begin a new over. The required run rate looks a fairly comfortable 1.5 and over. The batsman will have to run these. Eight, now for 209. Harvey to golf. That's straight up in the air. He picked the length quickly with that one.
Well, it was in the air, but there's no one there. No risk.
England have taken their total on to 8 for 213. Harvey to golf. That's too short, and it's been dispatched before. Golf moves into double figures with those runs. The score is now 8 for 217. Harvey continues. That's 10 off the over now. This over is proving to be quite expensive. 23 overs are left for England. Lee to begin a new over. The required run rate looks a fairly comfortable 1 and over. There it goes. That was well held. It was in the air a long time.
That was moving pretty quickly and he did well to cling onto it.
Goff makes his way back to the dressing room. Hoggard is now on strike. It's high in the air. Gillespie couldn't quite reach it. We're going to need the third umpire for this one. Two overs are left in the innings. Harvey to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 1 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. Hayden reaches it before it crosses the boundary. Harvey continues. Harvey to bowl to White.
Waiting!
Harvey continues. It's high in the air. That's the first boundary for Hoggard. Harvey to bowl to Hoggard. Lee to begin a new over. The required run rate looks a fairly comfortable 1 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. White is now facing. The score is now 9 for 226. Lee at the start of his run-up. The batsman will have to run these. Lee to bowl to Hoggard. That's the end of the 30th over. The new batsmen won't face for the time being. The required run rate has crept up to around 1 and over. That's good bowling. Out.
That was a lazy shot. He'll regret that when he sees the replay.
So to sum up then, Australia win by 22 runs.